Hi gals, welcome back to another episode of Zero Waste Closet. So today we are going to do some capsule wardrobe coaching. So this is going to be an informative video, and we are doing this as a follow-up to a video I did a few weeks ago that you guys seemed to love. I've had so many of you contact me or come into the store and tell me that you really liked this whole Project 333. So it's this 33-piece capsule wardrobe for 3 months that of course can be modified to fit your needs. And a lot of you told me that it was really good inspiration for you, that you're working on creating your own capsules. But in the process, you guys have come up with some questions that I think are fairly common questions and issues. And to be completely honest with you guys, these are challenges that I'm having myself too. So I just want to discuss some of those trials and tribulations that come up when you are in the process of creating and maintaining a capsule, and how I personally might deal with those. And of course, if you guys have other suggestions or ideas, we love to hear those. Drop them in the comments section below. It always really helps, and you're sharing them with your community here. So let's go ahead in no particular order and look at some of these issues that might come up for you. Okay, so the first, probably one of the most common issues to come up, and this is definitely happening to me, and we'll talk about that in a moment, is you do all of the work, you create your capsule. Let's just, for argument's sake, call it the 33-piece capsule that we looked at a few weeks ago. And you've come up with this capsule, you've stored all of your other stuff away, and you are trying to make it work. And in the process of doing that, a few things might happen. You start to really miss something that you put away, and you're like, oh, I really wish I had this item as part of the capsule. Or you might discover that there are just a few pieces in the capsule you created that you're just like not wearing at all. And they maybe seemed like a great idea at the time, but every time you go to pick out something to wear, you're just like avoiding those pieces for whatever reason. Or, and this can also happen, you happen to be out with friends, you're shopping, you walk past a window, you see something, and it is that piece you feel like you've been looking for all your life, but you already have your 33 pieces. What are you gonna do? Okay, so the whole idea is your capsule wardrobe was in your mind supposed to be set, but now there are things that are making you question it. What do you do? Well, gals, I just want to tell you, I have come to believe that our capsule wardrobes are a living, breathing thing. They are something that should and can be malleable. They can be evolving. Now, there's a limit to that. If they're evolving too fast, it just becomes an excuse for constantly rotating new things in and out. So kind of watch yourself and be careful on that note. But I love creating a capsule wardrobe because it's a learning opportunity. We learn what our personal style is. We learn about the pieces that we own, whether they're really working for us or not working for us. So there is no shame in acknowledging that perhaps something isn't working. So maybe those pieces that you chose out, or you're going, So let me give you an example. And I always, as I tell you guys, I'm really committed to being really authentic with you. I want to tell you that I am having a little bit of a struggle with that wardrobe I created a few weeks ago. I love all of the pieces I put in it. Do not get me wrong, but I am learning that there are a few pieces I put in there that they seemed like good idea pieces, but they're not necessarily what I really wear all the time, right? So examples might be, I picked out a jacket that I thought, well, this will be a really good idea because it's so cute on, but the reality is it's just already getting way too hot, and I need a few layering pieces, but I just don't need as many layering pieces as I picked, and those edged out the other things that I might be wearing all the time, right? So it makes sense to maybe take one or two of those out and put something else in that I'll be wearing more often. I also think I perhaps picked one or two too many pieces of potentially dressy outfits, and the reality is your capsule wardrobe should fit the life that you live. And the reality is, I live a very casual lifestyle. I almost never, ever get really dressed up. And if I do, I'm going to be pulling from something that's not even in my capsule wardrobe. Like if I have a black tie type of event, I'm really just going to go grab like my cocktail dress, which is not a part of that capsule. I'm probably not going to take a capsule piece and get it really dressed up. I just don't have the occasion to do that. So those are also taking up space in my capsule that could be occupied by another really cute t-shirt, for instance, that I might be wearing on a weekly basis. So something else that I have discovered that's kind of part of this like evolving, living, breathing capsule, but it's a little bit of an offshoot here, is that I do have a lot of tees and tanks that I left out of my capsule that I am really missing, that I love to wear. And so this kind of led me to develop a little bit of an extended idea for a capsule, and you can take this or leave it. It depends on your personal choices. It also depends on how rigorous of a minimalist you are or want to be. And I made this little decision for myself, so I'm going to do a little bit of rethinking on my capsule. My decision is that I think that I just have such a great collection of like layering tees and tanks that I don't want to include in my capsule. I want my own separate little capsule of tees and tanks, and I think I want my capsule to be pieces that are like outfit pieces, statement pieces. Like for instance, the kimono I'm wearing, this is like a statement piece, but the tank that I have underneath, I don't want to include that in my capsule. I want to have those all off to the side. Those all work within my capsule, but I think for me, what works best is to have the capsule made up of like the things like the kimonos or the jackets or the jumpsuits, the dresses, the actual outfit pieces, and that I would like, in my case, to leave those layering pieces out so that I have my tees and tanks are more like my accessories, and those I'm okay with having a larger quantity of, because I can just pile those up and stick them in a drawer or in an armoire somewhere. So again, it's okay to evolve and learn as we go. So I get to do a little bit of rethinking, and it lets me slide more statement pieces into my capsule that way. Okay, last point here on this note is what happens if you're out shopping and you find something absolutely fabulous that you would just die to live in. Well, you know what? It's okay. I mean, ask yourself, is there something in your capsule that you're hardly wearing at all that you would be okay swapping this out to bring this piece in? Try not to do it often, but give yourself a break if you really, really want something. For instance, we got this fabulous little shorts romper in from Velvet Heart, and I just love it. And I feel like, gosh, this is something I would wear at least once or twice a week. And there might be a dress that or another jumpsuit that I'm just not wearing as often. I think this is worth the swap. So that's totally okay. One more tiny little note I'm just going to make personally just to share with you guys, because again, it shows that our capsule wardrobes help us really identify our personal style, is that I discovered you guys are gonna laugh because you know I have these epiphanies live with you. Like I had my epiphany ages ago about blazers when I had sworn them off and then suddenly decided they're like one of my favorite wardrobe pieces. Well, shorts, you know, have been a challenge for me. As you guys know, I'm always self-conscious about my pale legs, but the temperatures are heating up. As you guys know, I did my video on shorts. I found some looks I really loved that I could embrace, and I decided maybe I need to swap out some pants, take those out of my capsule and substitute some shorts in. And again, just an example of we're just responding to our needs. You shouldn't limit yourself just because you've decided on your capsule and now you're not allowed to change your mind. It's okay to evolve. Okay, girls, here's another category of concern or just a conundrum that I hear coming up for a handful of you, and that is, what do you do if you want to create a concise capsule, but you kind of have like a couple of lives that you live that don't seem to have a lot of crossover. So for instance, a classic example is the gal who has a job during the week that requires her to be very officey, really suited up to go to work. And then she has a casual life on the side for when she gets home at the end of the day, maybe has a very loungy weekend vibe. How do you create a capsule wardrobe when you have these different needs? And I heard a great piece of advice that I really loved on this one, and that was, if that is the case for you, then maybe take your casual life, your casual personal style, and level it up 20 or 30%, meaning maybe dress it up a little bit. And then at the same time, take your work style and bring it down maybe 20%, maybe not 30, but maybe like 20%, so that you find a lot more crossover potential. So I'm just going to give you an example of this. If you're an office gal, well, maybe you need blazers, but you know what? Why not find some more blazers that have a kind of less structured, lovely, but maybe loungier vibe? So I love, for instance, velvet heart blazers, because a lot of them are made of tencel, which is what I kind of refer to as like an elevated lounge fabric. It's so luxurious, but it's not stiff and structured. So those types of pieces look great for the office. You can wear them as matching sets. They actually come with matching tencel pants. We've got some beautiful ones right now in baby blue is our latest. It's so pretty. And then you can wear those as separates when you're lounging. The blazer looks fabulous with destroyed jeans and a tee underneath, and those loungy pants are beautiful for the office when matched with the blazer, but then on the weekend you can take a concert tee and knot it at the waist, and you've still got that really relaxed feel. So you're getting it, right? Have more crossover style here. Another question I get a lot when creating capsule wardrobes is, what do I do with all of my other stuff? Well, gals, this is going to be very individual to you. It's going to depend on how much other stuff you have. It's going to depend on your storage opportunities, how big your house is. Do you have space in your garage? Do you have other closets within the house? Do you have a storage unit? All of these things. And you know, it can often, of course, start with maybe deciding on those things that you just never wear, that would never make it into your capsule, that are just backups. Well, we've done lots of videos on this. Maybe we start by actually getting those things out of the way entirely and for good. And so if you want to start with a full-blown closet clean out and get rid of that stuff so you can see the forest for the trees, that would be my suggestion if you have the time, so that all you're left with are things that you would wear, that at some point in your life and time you would put into a capsule. I always say, if you look at something, I was just telling someone this the other day and they were like, oh, that's a really good point. If you look at a piece of clothing and you go, never, no way, no how, doesn't matter what time of year it is, I would never choose this to be one of my 33 pieces. Well, then frankly, you got to ask yourself, why do you even own that, right? If it would never make it into a suitcase or never make it into a capsule wardrobe, maybe it's really time to give it a rethink. Okay, but what to do with all of the other stuff? Well, gals, I'll tell you what I've done. But again, solutions can differ for everybody. I have taken my things and put them into large storage bins, a lot of it, okay? And I label them very simply fall, winter, or spring, summer, where I can. With the dressy pieces, so I have maintained a part of my closet that still has pieces in it that are not in my capsule. So it's things like a few of my really dressy pieces if I needed to get really dressed up, or things like my vacation wear that is very specific to going on vacay. So I've got a few just really beautiful swimsuit cover-ups that I absolutely love. No, I'm not gonna wear them during the week as part of my capsule wardrobe, but I never wanna travel without them. So they're definitely still hanging in my closet. I do also have things like my activewear, things like that are still folded in my armoire. I still have my activewear shoes in my closet along with my capsule shoes. So these are options, and then I take those bins in my case and I pop them out into the garage, and that way they are there if in case I need to go and reach in for something. If I put away something that I wish had made it into my capsule, well, then it's still there and it's still accessible. All right, ladies, and the last question I tend to hear a lot is, what do I do if I want to create a capsule wardrobe, but I travel a lot? Like, I need pieces that travel well. Well, the answer on this one, in a way, I feel like is somewhat simple here. May not work for everybody, but I really find this to be pretty basic, and that is create a capsule wardrobe that travels well. It's pretty simple. Don't have a separate set of travel clothes, even though I know I just said that I have a little section in my closet where I've got like my swim cover-ups hanging. I only have a couple of those. Pretty much everything else in my capsule is the same stuff that I would throw into a suitcase. And I think that just makes life really, really easy. So I got my inspiration for this from a woman named Bea Johnson, who created something called Zero Waste Home years ago. She has been a huge inspiration to me when it comes to just the zero waste movement, but really on minimizing. And she is a really rigorous minimalist, okay? So she basically said that her whole family, they got their wardrobes down to such a minimum, which I'm not willing to get down to this little. Of course, look, I'm in fashion. I own a store. I love clothes too much, but they got it down to such a minimum that basically whenever they went out of town, they just took whatever was hanging in their closet, and there weren't even any decisions to be made. They just took it and folded it and stuck it in a suitcase and left. And then they would actually rent out their empty house and make money while they were gone, which I think in theory is like a brilliant concept. I love that. But I think kind of maybe a less serious, less rigorous way of doing it is at least have your capsule full of pieces that are real easy to pack and take with you, so that in general, you're not looking outside your capsule to then try to figure out what you're taking on a cruise or what you're taking on that European trip. Have a lot of great transitional pieces, and that is like the basis for a capsule wardrobe, are pieces that multitask really well. So things like kimonos, like I'm wearing. I love kimonos. They're swim cover-ups. They are great when you're going from a hot to a cold climate, because all you have to do is change up the shoes and the layering piece underneath. Have some great jeans and some great shorts and some dresses that can be sundresses, but then go into colder climates by simply popping a denim jacket on top. So that is really how to create a capsule wardrobe that travels well. Gals, I hope that this was really helpful to you as you are in the process just as I am, and I really want you guys to share your experiences with me. I learn from you. We all learn from each other. As I mentioned earlier, if you have any thoughts or ideas, suggestions we didn't come up with, or even questions, drop them in the comments section below. I'll do my best to reply to you. And also always feel free to email me at lisa@shopchillstyle.com. If you guys need any help building that capsule, of course, you can come in here and visit us at Chill Boutique in Fountain Hills, Arizona, or jump online to our online shop at www.shopchillstyle.com. If you guys liked this video, this type of content, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps this channel, lets me know that you want me to make more like this. And if you haven't already, make sure to jump on and subscribe to this YouTube channel, Zero Waste Closet. And that way you guys get notifications whenever new videos come out. Gals, happy summer, happy capsule wardrobe building, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one.